From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Rifts with your host, Keith Reza.
How are you?
I'm
It's so
doing
nice to
good.
meet you.
It's so nice to meet you. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for saying yes. I really
My
appreciate this.
absolute pleasure. My
Uh,
absolute pleasure.
uh, so I might go back and forth a little because my timeline, I don't really, my brain just goes in. So I apologize if it
Yeah,
like skips a little. But I wanted to talk.
no worries.
I wanted to talk first about the movie that just came out, Relative Control, because I thought
Yeah.
that was a beautiful film,
Oh,
and
thanks.
And I wanted to say, first of all, thank you for doing it because I think it's a story that a lot of people can relate to,
Yeah,
especially, with their parents and not just their parents, but other loved ones. So I wanted to know, like,
yeah,
what was that like when that came to your script, when that came into your hands with the script, because it was a first time writer. So like
yeah,
something about it really must have touched you. Say, okay, I want to do this.
yeah. I have to say, it had a lot to do with my mom. Um, because I was dealing with that for a few years. She had started to have dementia and Alzheimer's, and was fading quite quickly, actually.
Yeah.
And also, we were going to be filming. We filmed in Delaware, which is where I was born and raised.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, so we filmed in Wilmington, which is about 40 minutes north of Dover, where I was brought up. Um, but it was just so interesting because it was kind of like, 38 years later, it was as if things were coming back around full circle because um, there was the train station, the Amtrak train station in Wilmington that I used to take back and forth because I was 17 when I moved to New York.
Yeah.
And I would take the Amtrak back and forth from New York back to Wilmington, Delaware. My family would come and pick me up, my mom or my dad, and pick me up at the train station and drive me back down to Dover. I'd visit, and then I'd go back, on the train. And I did that for 10 years. I lived in New York from 86 to 95. And so it was it was crazy to be back, at 50, that age. Uh,
Well, you look
at
beautiful for that.
15, um, um, to be back. And the fact the hotel that I stayed at um, had overlooked the bridge that we used to take over the Chesapeake
Oh
to
my
get
God.
to the it was just yesterday. It was like there were ghosts there, that we would drive over that bridge.
Yeah.
So that was a huge draw for me. And then, of course, secondly, like I said, firstly, I would say um it was the draw because of my mom. What's crazy is that not too terribly long afterward, well, I mean, a bit afterwards, I lost my mom. She passed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's it, it, that doing that movie was kind of a reminder for me to just not take 1 second for granted. My mom and I had a very contentious relationship.
Yeah.
We were best friends, and yet there was a lot of anger and resentment on my part, um, for childhood traumas that we won't get into.
Right,
Um,
right.
but uh, but even though those existed, it was a matter of forgiving and trying to not take a minute for granted. Of course, regardless, when she did pass, I felt nothing but guilt and because I live in Virginia right now, and
Oh my
I'm
God. I thought
yeah,
you were in LA.
no, I escaped that hellhole.
Terry, we could have done this earlier. I would have called out sick for you. Oh my God.
Oh no, it's totally fine. And oh no, it's absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. Not a problem
Oh,
at all.
the time
Um,
difference. So.
yeah. Oh no, it's not a problem at all. It's what,
Oh.
4 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm cool. I'm
Oh,
sweet.
okay. Okay, cool.
All good. Um, so yeah, I was 2 hours away from my mom, and I still didn't see her as much as I should have, and there were times that she needed me. In any case, you know, you still go through the guilt, but so that was the biggest draw for me, was it was kind of like a love letter, which unfortunately she never got to see. But
Oh,
um,
she's seeing it wherever she's at right now.
absolutely,
So she has
absolutely,
seen it, and she's, you know,
yeah.
but
And she's free and she's away from all of her. She had terrible health issues her entire life. So she's free, she's healthy. I actually got to hold her in my arms as she took her last breath. I heard her last breath over my left shoulder.
oh,
Um, and it was amazing because in that instant, I started crying with tears of joy, saying, "I'm so happy for you, Mom. I'm so happy for you," because she was away from the pain and the sadness that she had been experiencing for a few years, you know, towards the end of her life. And I just felt like she was just going crazy and was like, "I love you, but I gotta get out of here." And it was like she just left to go
yeah.
and be free and be young and be healthy again. And so it was amazing. It was an amazing thing. I was there for 3 days. In any case, back to the movie. Yeah, um it was really special. And of course, Patrick McDade, who played my father, is
Oh, he
just
was so funny.
incomparable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your
he's
chemistry with that, like I was like, holy Lord. Like I was like, who do you prefer, Robert De Niro or this guy? Like
yeah, he was amazing. We had so much fun. We laughed so hard, and there's far too many outtakes. There are probably more outtakes than there is actually film footage from the two of us just giving each other. And of course, that again obviously lent itself to our chemistry on film. So he's one of a kind. You know, the mold
yeah.
was broken when he was made, and I absolutely adore him. Adore him.
I think that that's such a sweet story about your mother, like how you were there when she passed, because I'm not kidding. I had this dream like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago where like, you know, not to brag, Terry, but I'm also in the celebrity business. I'm not an A-lister like you, but I'm I'm known with stand-up comedy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so I've done, you know, a couple bad movies and stuff, and I had this dream that
you too.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I had this dream that I was with my father, and you know when he was dying, and he's still alive, but I had a dream that he's dying, and I'm holding his hand, kind of like you. And then he says, "By the way, Keith, I just like his last words to me was like, by the way, House of Karma was great." And I just thought like that would be so funny because like that's the worst movie in the world. You know what I mean? So like I was like, oh wow. He had real in my dream he had huge expectations, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Oh, bless. Don't they always? Don't they always? It's funny you say that because my mom would she saw everything that I did, and there were things that it was babies need new shoes, that kind of thing sometimes. And
Yeah.
but she would watch everything and she said, "Oh, Terry, you were just so beautiful. It was just so wonderful, and you did such a great job. It was such a wonderful movie." And I was just like, "Mom, thanks for that, but we all know it was crap."
Right.
But so, yeah. Oh, that's
Uh
what a funny dream. That's hilarious.
yeah, but like I think also like something you and I have in common with is because like you know you said when you were 17 you went to New York to pursue acting, you know.
Right.
When I was underage I would go through different cities to do stand-up comedy. So like I think like that's kind of like a daring situation where nowadays families won't
Oh,
let anyone do that.
don't get me started. The first time I was in New York City, I was dancing. I danced at School of American Ballet, which was a feeder school for New York City Ballet.
Yeah.
And I was 13.
Oh my God.
And I went there by myself. Now the school would interview and check, backgrounds. And of course, it was nowhere near what it is today, but people whom would offer up rooms and or apartments for these students to stay in. And I ended up with an extraordinary young woman who played the violin. And I stayed with her, but she was a complete stranger.
Yeah.
And at 13, my parents drove me up to the city, boom, dropped me off. There I am at 13 years old. I just turned 13, and riding the subway, doo-doo-doo, with my little bun head and my tights and shorts, and my daughter's almost 18, and she's not allowed to go anywhere near New York by herself right now.
Yeah.
It's insane, the things. It's like growing up. What do they say? Kids these days try growing up in the 80s. Yes, we drank water out of the hose. I used to get locked out of my house because mom and dad needed some peace and quiet. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I fell for that too, man. Like I stayed at this one guy's house. He promised he'd give me a whole bunch of candy, and he didn't give me the type of candy I wanted. You know what I mean? So, but
yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
My whole goal is just to make you smile and laugh. I think you have a beautiful smile. Uh,
I'm all about that. Oh, there's a kitty cat outside my window. Hi, kitty
uh,
cat. What are you
oh,
looking at? What's shaking, bacon? Anyway, how random.
so let's go back to the start of your career. Your first film was Born to Ride with John Stamos. And when you got it, did you think, "Holy Lord, I'm going to be on a motorcycle with John Stamos"? Like, what was in your head? Where like, okay, I finally got this part, and because at the time, John Stamos was like the eye candy for the ladies, right?
My grandmother, I used to go to school. My grandmother, my mom's mom, lived next door to us, and my grandparents, I should say. And after school, every day, I would run over to her house, and we would watch General Hospital together. So of
Yeah,
course, Blackie was just drool worthy, and so not only it was like it was this miracle, this magical God-given moment when I found out that I'd gotten this movie. That was my first movie, obviously.
yeah,
And but we shot in former Yugoslavia. We shot in Zagreb, and which was really frightening. People, there were soldiers walking around the street, just on the
really,
street, with machine guns. I mean, that's how close it was to the war that finally broke out.
yeah,
And a lot of the young men who were extras, who played some of the military guys, and I often wondered if they were still around, because that was quite a vicious war. But yeah, and John was just Mr. Suave, charming guy, which of course he still is, but cute, and a little too cute for my taste. I kind of go for the underdog, or the one that's not conventionally handsome. The I love smiles. That's my big thing. So he has a great smile, just
yeah,
not my
yeah.
cup of tea. But it was fun.
Y-
It
You
was
pr-
fun.
you prefer the Keith Rezas in the world?
Precisely.
Ah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah, excellent. No, I got a funny story about John Stamos because I used to tour with Bob Saget, and he was on that
Oh my
show.
gosh.
Yeah, he was on that show Full House,
Yeah,
and
that show.
yeah,
Right.
and he was like, John Stamos is like the eye candy for all the ladies, and I was like, yeah. He's like, I don't get it. I'm pretty attractive myself, and I just thought that was just like such a funny thing to say. Yeah.
Funny, because I would never say that about myself. I'd be like,
Exactly.
yeah, he's the eye candy. Boom. End of story. End of sentence. Period.
And and then
Well,
I want
bless his soul, Bob. I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, Saget was the best. I met Saget because I toured, like, this is also gonna like make you like, I'm bad luck with comedy. I toured with Norm Macdonald for 9 years. So Norm introduced me to Saget, and then when Norm died, Saget kind
Yeah.
of took me up, and then Saget died, 4 months later, and it was just kind of like, you know, like
Keith, what is oof.
yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go.
Well, you don't
I didn't know
you
you had that kind of
you don't do
power.
stand up comedy, Terry. So
Oh,
you're
that's
good.
true.
You know,
That's true. So I
you're
think
good.
I'm safe.
You're safe. But I wanted to ask you about Mystery Day because that was like, such a cool cult classic movie, and it was like back then where like shooting locations, the budget kind of depends on locations, but that movie only had like 3 or 4 locations. And I want to know, like, how was that, you know?
Well, it actually had several locations. However, it did take place in one night
Yeah.
mostly. So we were in Vancouver, Canada, and we shot 1 week of day shoots, and then 2 months and 3 weeks of night shoots.
Oh my
Like
God.
we were so our circadian rhythms. I was messed up. I was young, thank
Yeah.
goodness. But yeah, it was pretty wild. So we shot all over the city. We shot on locations. We didn't have any stage. There was no stage work or anything like that. It was all locations. And Fisher Stevens is just, I adore him. He's just so stinking funny. He
Oh
just is
yeah, he's the
sly
best.
and dry and just I had the biggest crush on him. He was awesome. And of course Ethan had gotten finished doing had done Dead Poets Society. So he was, the next big thing. And they treated us so well and were so kind. And I had the best time on that. I had such a great time. The funny story though, I lived in New York at the time that we filmed, and I used to dance. Well, I still danced at the time, and I would take class up at a studio on 74th and Broadway called Steps, and I would I would take the subway up to the Upper West Side, and the posters came out, and it was me and Ethan, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm on. It was the first time that I'd been on a movie poster, and it was just, I thought I was the shit. And I get to the stop at 72nd and Broadway, and as I pass one of my posters, I have a mustache, horns, and a blacked out tooth
Oh
on
my God.
on the poster, and I was like, what? So I go into my class and I'm kind of like, because I also, of my classmates, they were my friends and stuff. It's like I wanted to feel important and famous and stuff. And they're laughing their asses off because they were the ones that did it to my poster.
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
you guys, you're such assholes. Oh my Lord. But yeah, that was a fun one. I thought for sure that would kind of help put me on the map, but that one didn't quite do that either. So, but I had fun. It was good.
I would have done like I would have taken a Sharpie and just wrote on like Ethan Hawke's picture too, just so like you guys can like be like, they have good taste. I don't know, but like something like that.
Uh,
But
I'm not that unkind. I used to be a good person. Nowadays, just don't mess with me. I don't know. Can I curse on your show?
yeah, 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 yeah.
I have a T-shirt. I have three T-shirts. One that said, well, I have more T-shirts than that, but
I was
three
gonna say,
T-shirts
Tara.
that say that say, because I'm kind of a hermit. I'm definitely an introvert, and I live in a town I call Bumfuck, and like once a week, maybe I'll go out to TJ Maxx. That's my big outing. I have problems with people sometimes. The bad people, they're not good people.
Right.
I don't like Trump and stuff. But anyway, so I have three T-shirts, and one of them says "I hate people," so that's pretty blunt. The other one says "ew, comma people," and then the last one says "don't like me, fuck off." They're problem solved. So
Oh, that's a
I
great one.
yeah, now that I'm old and crabby and bitter and jaded, I would definitely have drawn on Ethan's face much worse things than horns and a mustache. Blech.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to then like after because you had these roles of being the dream girl, the girl next door, then you got your first role where you're the actual star in Quick, and like a lot of people say like there was no all these stars for the ladies back then, but that was like a star one. You were top billing, and I wanted to know like did you have anxiety doing that, or like how'd that come and function?
I really hate that you found that movie, Keith. I'm just going to
Oh
be
my
completely,
God.
totally, utterly honest.
What
Honest that that
I
that was That was one of my whatever it was that your father told you in your dream. That was one of mine that I just I kind of wished would go away. I tried to buy up all the copies in Blockbuster, but that didn't work.
I'm so
That
sorry.
it was such a piece of crap. Let's just be honest.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, I thought that was fun, and it went against type and everything, and but it was interesting because I thought that I had a little bit not power, but a little bit more control and a little bit more say in it, and I didn't.
yeah.
Um, and I came up with a whole bunch of ideas and a whole bunch of things, and I was just poo-pooed. And again, I was still pretty young in the business, so I didn't have much sway in things. So what I had envisioned and what I had hoped for didn't quite make it to the
Oh,
outcome of that film.
well,
But yeah,
I hate to tell you, I wrote a sequel to it called Slow.
even quicker.
Even quicker. Yeah, that'd be great. We could do this, Terry. Like we, you
I'm
know,
gonna have to say no to that one. I'm gonna put the kibosh on that one, Keith. You have to do that one by yourself. Recast it.
uh, but like also what's interesting about you too is because you were doing these movies and then you transitioned to TV. You did a couple episodes of Northern Exposure, and back
Yeah.
then, like now, movie stars and TV stars they kind of mesh together, but back
Oh yeah.
then that never
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. Well, I remember Tom Hanks. He had been on Perfect Strangers with Peter Scolari, and not Perfect Strangers. Oh hell, that was Bronson Pinchot. Um, what the heck was that with Peter Scolari? Oh, I can't
Ah,
believe I can't remember that. Where
should
they were
I
in the all women's boarding house or whatever it was.
should
I'm
I
gonna remember
Google
it.
this?
I'm gonna remember it. Tom Hanks in I'm horrible. I can't believe it. It's gonna come to me at like 3 a.m. and I'm gonna call you and
Tom Hanks and Peter.
Scolari, Scolari, I believe. Ah, I want it
Oh,
to come to
oh,
me.
it was called Bosom Buddies.
Bosom buddies, darn
Yeah.
it. Ah,
I
shit.
never would have got that, Terry.
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot that. Ah, getting old. Let me put in my dentures. Hold on.
Now I'm
Um,
interested in Bosom Buddies.
It was a really good show. It was really funny. Anyway, he had been on that show and it was a big success. But he afterwards, I believe that he must have had some troubles getting into movies, which is hilarious to think of now. But
Yeah.
I remember him famously saying, if you want to get into movies, don't do television. If you do television, you'll never get into movies. And at the time, it was absolutely true. It was religion, boy. That was just the case. And I remember feeling, scared because some of the films at that point in time in my career had dried up, and here I was doing TV, and I thought, oh, that's it. That's the end of my film career. But like you said, anymore these days, there might be a shit ton of content out there with streaming and everything, but to get a part is virtually impossible. It's really difficult because as you see, it's just chock full of A-list movie stars that
Yeah.
that are doing these shows. So I'm more of a B, and it's not easy. It's not easy. I did a pilot a show, gosh, 4 years ago. I can't believe it was 4 years ago now. With Scott Foley, whom I've known for years and years, and it was, I remember sobbing because I'd actually gotten the part, and here I was going to be on TV again, and
Right.
and aside from guest stars and stuff like that. And we lasted one season before we got canceled because we were our time slot was opposite Monday Night Football.
Oh my
We all,
God, yeah.
we all
That
know how that goes.
that's a death slot because
Absolutely.
especially if the game is terrible, they're gonna be like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna be like, I'm not gonna stay and watch what's after the game. This game's a blowout.
No, but it was opposite. It was
Oh,
on
it
at the
was opposite.
same time.
I
Yes.
thought you said it was after Monday Night
No,
Football.
oh, I probably did because I'm an idiot. But no, it was on at the same time. And as soon
Oh
as they
yeah,
told me that,
that's
I
worse.
knew we were done for. Yeah, I knew we were absolutely done for. Because even I watched the football and didn't watch my show. I was like, I'll watch it later.
Do you,
But
do you have a hard time watching yourself? Because I have a
uh,
hard time watching myself. Like I can't do it.
I have a hard time watching myself. I have a hard time listening to myself. I made that mistake pretty early on in my career, and I was devastated, absolutely devastated. And I vowed after that that I would never, ever, ever go in. And I did it while we were actually filming the movie, and it just changed my entire performance. I was so self-conscious and hated like everything that I did, and I vowed that I would never do it again. I wanted to, but I never did again. Afterwards, there are so many stinking things that I haven't seen because I thought they were crap, but also because I just can't do it. It's I hate myself.
But do you think that's an artist thing too? Like, do you think that? I mean, I know that it's kind of putting you on a spot to speak for everybody, but do you think everybody kind of has that same feeling where they think most of the work they do is not good enough in their eyes?
Um, yes and no. There are some people that find it really helpful that they can see the things that they want to work on and see things that like for instance a very well-known actor whom was on a television show that was a huge hit for a really really long time. um I used to watch the television show that he was on, and he had this big tell that I knew he didn't know his lines. I
Yeah.
knew he was struggling for his lines. It's so funny. And some people like me go, I can't watch this anymore, and I'm just going to FO and not watch it anymore. And some people will watch it so that they can learn and go, oh, I do this, and I have to stop that. Um, so I think it's a choice. I think there's some people that obviously like it, some people don't. I'm just one of those who don't. I probably would be a better actor if I did watch things and go, oh, that really sucked. Maybe I should change that while I'm acting. Who knows?
Uh, well, I think you're a great actress. So, I mean, I don't think like, just on certain projects, because it's just not just a performance that changes the game. It's also the writing and the directing, the
Oh,
editing. And I think a lot of people don't realize that. You know what I mean?
oh, the editing an editing can make or break a film. You can have so-so acting, you can have so-so directing, but sometimes, man, I'll tell you what, they edit that sucker and it can be a really great movie. I filmed a movie called Passed Away. I call it Passed Away. I have nicknames for all my movies. I call it Passed Away right out of the theaters. I got up and walked out of it when I went to see it.
Was this the
Uh,
one with Tim Curry?
yes.
Oh, this was a great movie, Terry.
Listen, Keith, what we filmed, I mean, look at that cast. It was an extraordinary comedic cast.
Right.
What we filmed was hilarious. Like, we could not keep a straight face. Bob Hoskins, Maureen Stapleton, she was a stinking character. Tim Curry, Peter Riegert, Pamela Reed, William Peterson. I mean, this cast was out of control. The editing destroyed it, in my opinion. Of course, the editor might hear this and go, "Wait a minute, what a bitch!" But they would leave moments too long,
Yeah.
and they have to be concise especially when you're doing comedy, man. It's an art. It's an art form. I really believe that it's a gift that people have it or they don't. You can't, you can't you can't become funny. I just don't believe that. I think that you are inherently comedic and have comedic timing, or you don't. And I felt as if this editing just ruined, because some of these people were extraordinarily comedic actors.
Yeah.
So yeah, but editing, directing, like, yeah, absolutely. You can have amazing actors. We've all seen movies like that have amazing actors and very talented people that you go, really? All right. Well,
Yeah, I think that whenever I watch Showgirls, I think, okay, this could have been way better. But but no, Terry, you bring up an interesting point, and this is why I think you're also a brilliant actress. Because, like, let's talk about Meet the Parents for a second. I know, like, that's a film that kind of like really, jump started it. But you're acting in that because I feel you're the funniest one in that movie because of your reactions and your piggybacks and your you know like your eye contact and stuff. Like it's really good moments that really complement the jokes. Does that make sense?
oh,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful. But that's exactly what I said. I rode the coattails. I just kind of sat back and reacted because Bob and Ben are just. We just recently last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, was the 25th anniversary of Meet the Parents
Yeah.
being released. And so Jay Roach, whom directed the first one, he and I watched the screening of the movie, and I haven't seen it in years and years yet. I mean, there were things that I completely and utterly forgot, much less going, God damn it, we were funny. We were stinking funny. And again, I watched it originally and went, okay, I could have been better. I felt so awkward, and I was like, I look awkward, and but I watched it this time and went, oh, I did okay. I didn't do bad because people were laughing at me, and I went, oh, thanks, guys. That was cool. But yeah, I just called it riding on their coattails because
Yeah.
that's all I did. But that's also an integral part of acting is you have to listen and react. And shit, what was I gonna say? If there was an Oscar for reacting, I really think that I at least would have been nominated for that.
That
So
we're gonna put that in the slips now. I'm gonna tweet them. I'm gonna say, listen, we need nominations for reacting. You know what I mean? Like
damn straight.
we gotta do this. My sister Catherine did want me to tell you this. It's probably not gonna make a lot of sense, but me and my sister we talk in movie language. Like we
Right.
quote stuff and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And whenever like our family's having a huge like massive fight or whatever, well we always say, so Keith, how's your job? Yeah. Or
I actually remember that line now because I just saw it. I don't remember lines. I don't remember a line that I just said 5 minutes ago. How people remember lines from movies, I have no idea. But
uh
yeah.
it's love language, yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love
Uh,
it.
uh
Yeah.
Terry, I wanted to respect your time, but I have four more questions. Can I ask these or
Lay him on me. Absolutely.
okay. I wanted to ask you, what was it like being married to Vince Vaughn, and are you glad that that didn't work out?
I'm going to move on to the next question, Kevin. And
Keith.
you knew the answer when you asked that.
Uh, I thought that was a great film though. But I also feel like that's a film that suffered from the editing because it seemed like they
I
cut
was
a lot of it out.
I was just going to say that. You're so astute because John was lovely. He and I put so much work. That's a huge story. He and I put so much work into our relationship and the backstory and our scenes and everything. And I I was so excited to have that role because it was John Travolta and it was Vince Vaughn and Harold Becker was the director and it was it was a big budget movie. And we filmed for almost 4 months in Wilmington, North Carolina. And I busted my hump. Well, to try and make a short story as possible, um, um, uh, uh, we were supposed to go and do reshoots because some things didn't quite work out. And 9/11 happened. And I was we were all, the nation was in complete and utter shock and frozen and paralyzed. And I just thought for sure that we they're going to give it some time. And it was like, nope, the show must go on. And I'll tell you what, it made me so angry. It made me livid to the point of I almost quit. I almost quit the business. I was really angry. And so sure enough, they got a private jet, scooped us all up, and flew us back to North Carolina. And yeah, so we got there, and another example of not watching myself, they showed us a rough cut of the film, and I was utterly devastated because so much of my work had been cut out.
Really?
So much of the backstory and all of the good nuances and things that John and I felt that John and I had prepared and put in there, completely gone. And at that point, I said to my husband at the time, I said, I'm done. I'm done. You know, this is I put my heart and soul into this, and I put up with a lot of shit on that film from many different directions. And it was an extraordinarily difficult shoot. And I went, I can't put up with this shit. I can't do this. I can't do this and have it look like this and be and feel so inconsequential to a film. And so subsequently I said, I want to have a baby, which was interesting. And I did. Boy, I got pregnant right away. And my son is now 23. Well, we'll soon be 23. But
see,
but yeah.
This is one of these things where, like, you know, you say, this movie's terrible. I want to have a baby. And then you get one of the brightest joys in the world, right? So if you didn't do this movie, right?
True fact, truth. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to have a baby in so many ways. Ew, that's really gross. I just realized what I said. Next question. But yeah, some of the editing and there was a lot that just, in my opinion, destroyed that movie too. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, my next question is about their rival, because I feel like that movie was very, very good as well. But I
You're
feel
telling me, bro.
I loved it. What? I feel that movie kind of got like screwed up, because I feel like Independence Day or something was around this corner, and it was kind of like which one are we gonna go see, Independence Day or The Arrival? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, I loved Charlie. That was before a lot of stuff kind of started going downhill. But I loved Charlie. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever known. His dry humor, his no bullshit, his complete and utter honesty and no filter. I love that. I love that. And so he and I got along so great. We laughed our asses off. We were just so irreverent. It was don't mess with us. And we filmed in Mexico City, which was kind of rough. But I think for me on that one, what two things. The director, I'll never forget, David Toohey. And David, if you're listening to this, or fuck you. He made it. He told me to my face that I was not his first choice.
Oh my God, that's such a mean thing to say.
And I said, okay, let's get to work now. You know, what am I supposed to say to that? So that marred for me the entire time we were filming. That was, what do you do? How do you have to rise to the occasion and be a better man and just do the best you can, whether he's happy or not. Just screw you.
I'll tell you what you do on that, because that happened to me on this movie called House of Karma, where I was casting. The director told me that I just played a guy who dies, you know what I mean? But I have like a scene or whatever.
Right.
And I got cast because this guy saw me do stand-up comedy. He's like, "Hey, you're pretty funny. We want to kill you in a movie." And I guess like I guess like 3 people rejected it or whatever, and then they went to me, and the director said, "Oh, you weren't our first choice." I was like, "Well, I was your first choice that you offered it to me at a comedy show." So, you know what I mean?
I may not have been your first choice, but I was sure shit your last.
Yeah. So
Live with
if this movie sucks because he casted me, congratulations. You know what I mean? Like that's because my okay. Continue to your story. The guy.
No, no, that was and oh, then the second thing for me was, the special effects back then were awful. They were hideous. They were horrendous, and I just the aliens in that. One of my friends called them the butt fronts.
Yeah.
Because the front like looked like a butt, and their legs bent. What did their legs bent backwards?
Backwards. Yeah.
And it just looked so bad. It just
But
looked so bad.
But in 1996, it looked pretty cool. Like now, it kind of, you know what I mean? Like
Oh,
that's, you gotta give the special effects a little credit because back then they didn't have a lot of
all right.
stuff. You know
I
what I
won't be
mean?
so hard on it. I won't be so hard on it. As
Yeah.
again, like you said, it became kind of cultish and whatnot. So, hey, listen, if people had fun with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah. I thought it was great. My ball by my bleh.
Easy for you to say, friend.
Sorry, Terry. My biological father looks exactly like Charlie Sheen, and
Oh,
I remember because he was never around, because he's my biological father. But I remember like in school and stuff. And here's the thing: his name's Charlie too, which is very ironic. But
shut up. That's hilarious.
yeah. But like I remember at school and stuff, like they found a picture of me like Dad's Day or whatever. They found a picture of me and they're like, "Oh my God, your dad's Charlie Sheen." I was like, "Ah, yeah, just going with it." I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to brag or
I
anything.
was like, "He's filming this really cool movie called The Arrival. You should go see it." Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so Terry, I have two more questions for you. I want to respect your time, but I wanted to ask you if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, knowing everything that you know now, what would you tell yourself? And you have like 10, 15 seconds.
That's not fair. Ah, yeah, geez. I would say, I would say, believe more in yourself. Advocate for yourself. Don't, um, don't, don't make yourself small for anyone else, and draw your boundaries. And yeah, we could get really serious on that one.
Oh, that's such a good answer because I thought you were going to say Terry. I'll do some improving for you. Like I'll be Terry
Oh,
Polo.
awesome.
All right, I'll be like, all right, Terry. This is Terry Polo from 2025. How you doing? Hey, if Keith Reza asks you to do his podcast, say no.
Those are words to live by right there. I gotta be honest. But why? Why would I say that to myself? That's awful. I've
Uh,
laughed so much. It's been fantastic. I've loved your questions.
oh, why? Thank you. And then
You're
my
welcome.
my last question actually has nothing to do with you, or
Perfect. Love
but
that.
I would love your opinion on this because I was watching this and I found it very fascinating. I was watching a documentary of called like Unresolved Mysteries of the World, and they were talking about the pyramids, like the Egypt's pyramids and stuff, and they don't know how they were built. I wanted to know, Terry Polo, in your opinion, how do you think they were built?
Oh, aliens.
Aliens.
Absolutely aliens. No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt. Aliens.
yeah. I
I really
have
have no idea. I have no idea.
I have a weird theory myself. Like
Yeah, I want
I
to hear this.
I could buy the alien theory, but okay, so Terry, in like
Yes.
4,000 years from now, right? Evolution comes up with these things called time machines.
Right.
I don't know why I did it like Austin Powers. But anyways, they have these things called time machines, right?
Right.
And they say, "All right, guys, here's what we're going to do. We want to play a joke on the world of the past. So we're going to go all the way in the past, and we're going to build these pyramids and Stonehenge, and then we're going to come back, and we're just going to laugh our asses off because everyone's an idiot." So I feel like they're laughing at us
That
right now, Terry. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I want to go back to saying aliens was kind of my attempt at humor, which is why you're the comedian and I'm not. But I do absolutely believe that we are an arrogant race if we believe that we are the only sentient beings in this ungodly universe, several universes that exist out there.
Oh yeah.
And so, I really do believe that there perhaps were other things, other beings, other whatever that could have been on this planet, could have, I mean, hey, maybe that's a giant turd for some, alien life form out there that just came and took a big dump.
No, seriously, Terry, I totally believe that there's like life out there because
Oh, that I
I
got.
because if you meet my grandma, you'd be like, there's no way she's from Earth. Like there's like you're like, what is going on with this lady? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like Terry, I swear, she's like 190 years old. She just
Oh
does
God.
she does not die. She falls every single day, cracks her head, and she just gets up. She's like, "All right, that was fun." And you're like, "What the?" And you're like, "I have to clean this blood." She won't go to the hospital, right? She's missing half her toes, and she's walking around. You're like, "This is just." I feel terrible because this is my grandmother, but Terry, this is so true. This is like it's a horror movie versus comedy in one, and you're like, huh.
Have you ever actually gone up to her and say, Grandma, are you ever gonna fucking die? Are you ever gonna die?
No, because I respect my mom so much to say that to her mother, but I think that every single day. Like I think like whenever an accident happens, I'm like, is this the day? In a real
Is this the one? Is this the one?
and it's
Oh my
never
God,
the
that's
one.
awesome. That's flipping hilarious.
Well, Terry, where can the folks at home follow and support you? You have Instagram, Cameo, something where we could support you at?
I am on Cameo. I don't get a lot of requests, which is fine.
Oh, we're gonna change that.
I'm not insulted or anything like that.
We're gonna change
And
that.
also, I am on Instagram. I really honestly, I don't know what it is. I think it's the real Teri Polo. I think that's what it is. I don't know.
Oh,
But I'm there somewhere. Just look up my name and you'll find it. I have a little blue check. I think it's the real Teri Polo, and it's got a little blue check. If it doesn't have a blue check, don't follow it. It's not me.
uh, well, Terry, thank you so much for talking to me, and
Absolutely.
I really appreciate your. I love you, and thank you for being my best friend for an hour. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, entirely my pleasure. Truly, it was a lot of fun.
All right, Air 5, and I would love to have you back anytime. You're always welcome. And
Anytime.
all right.
Anytime. I'd love that. We'll get into more, deep things, and you can bring up even crappier films that I've done. I would love that.
Okay, that would be great because
Cool.
I have a page too.
Really? Because there's like 50 pages, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Uh,
All right, man.
all right, Terry. Well, have a beautiful day, and I appreciate you. Have a great day.
You do the same. I appreciate you too, Keith.
All
Take
right.
care.
All right, guys, that was the episode. Subscribe, rate, review, and we'll tell you guys next week with all right, Terry's gone. All right, guys, subscribe, rate, review. We'll see